Howdy, everybody. This is Rabbit. I have noticed something on the internet that, frankly, I think I could help and is concerning enough to need to be fixed. I have noticed that people really don't know how to do everyday things that need doing. They don't know how to do laundry. They don't know how to make sure their car is not going to die, check oil. They don't know how to replace a flat tire. Things that could, you know, if you're stranded in the middle of nowhere and your tire's flat, the next person that could come by could be a good Samaritan or it could be a serial killer, and you just won't know. So I figured this series would allow me to explain some of the things that maybe people need to know in order to go about their everyday lives in a more easy way. I figured each week I will bring up one topic, explain how to do it, and see what happens. This week's topic will be learning how to take care of your car. Just general things. Replace the tire if it needs to be replaced. Where to find the spare tire. Where to find the tools. Any new car should come with the tools necessary to change a tire. And I will show you all that in today's video. I will also show you what it looks like when your dash lights up like a Christmas tree. I will show you I will try to explain what each of the icons on the dash mean, and I will show you how to check oil. I figured that would be a good start because, frankly, I like cars. I don't like working on them too much, but I do know how to work on them because I have project cars. So, let's get started. Okay, I guess we can get started with an easy one. Let's show you how to change the tire on a car. It is rather simple. All the tools are already in the car. Always, it's a manufacturer standard to sell a new car with all the tools required, and most of them come with a spare tire. Now, I don't know about all of them. I'm sure they're supposed to, but maybe some don't. If you buy a used car, the tools may not be in there anymore. The old occupant of the old owner of the vehicle might have kept the tools, decided to sell them off. They might have sold off the spare tire. You never know what you're getting in a used car. But in a new car, you will always have the tools in order to get yourself off the road and safely to a place where you can get a new tire. So, let's get started here. This is my 2001 Honda Prelude. It's a very old car. The engine is currently, I blew it up on the way up the causeway. I love going fast. It didn't have the seals for it, so I ended up, I think, blowing a rod. I haven't really torn it apart yet to see what's up with it. So we'll use this as the donor car right now. I'll show you how to change the tire on it. Now, here, everybody should know this, but I figured I'd mention it anyway. There are levers inside the car. Most people have them on their keys now, but there are levers inside the car to open up the front and rear hatch of the car. In order to find the levers to open the doors on the car, they will always be right next to the driver's seat in very easy to find places. These are almost never anywhere hard to find because you need to be able to find them in case of an emergency. So I will show you on both the Prelude and my Scion, which is my newest acquisition, where to find these levers. It's pretty simple. It's not hard. It's just, information that not everybody knows. So if you look at the floorboard right here, do you see these? Yeah, so this opens the gas. If you're ever not able to open it from the outside of the car, the inside of the car always has a lever. It is usually right here in the driver's seat, right up against the door. This lever opens my trunk, and this lever right here opens the front of the car. So, once you have the hood open, there is a lever in the hood. Sometimes they open sideways, sometimes they open vertical. The hood always opens vertical like this, but sometimes the lever is at an angle. Once you have it, grab this lever and find out where it sits. There's always a little hole for this to be inserted into where you will be able to prop the hood open. So now you have access to the front area of the car. With the rear end, once you have the lever, you can just pull it open. It's all good. This car doesn't get used all that often, but already you can tell here is a tool for the tire. This is actually aftermarket. I bought this car. It didn't have the tools needed. It had some of them, but not all of them. So here is the actual jack that you will need. But basically how these work, it comes with a little handle. The jack comes with a little handle. You put it like this under the pinch point of the car. I will show you that in a minute. And it comes with a handle that loops through here. And you just turn it and it extends. Now, once it hits the car, it takes some force to get up. So, you know, it's labor. It sucks, but it'll get you back on the road. So, yeah, you just raise it until the tire is up off the ground, and I will show you that in a minute. And then once you're done, you just let it back down gently. Simple as that. It's not hard. It's not rocket science. It may save your life one day. We don't know. So let's put this back here. All of these I will show you in the Scion real quick. That it's the exact same in that vehicle. There are my keys. So like I said, sometimes the key has a button. If you hold it open, it'll just pop open the trunk. But like I said, in the case of not being able to have the key working or whatever, if you come in, you have the trunk button. So on some of the newer cars, the trunk open is a button. This is universal, basically, I think. I've never seen a car where it's in a different place. This is universal gas. And then this is to open the hood. So the hood latch is almost always right here. And universally, the gas tank latch is almost always right here. The trunk will always be in a different place. Well, not always, but most of the time. So it just depends on what car you have. You'll need to search a little bit and find it, but it is always in the same general area, so that does make it easier and narrow it down. Close the hood real quick. So some cars are a little bit complicated. Let me pull all this out real quick. Sometimes you have shit in the trunk you gotta empty out, okay? It's gonna be part of life. So if you pull this up, and I'll show you in the other car too, there is your spare tire. Almost always in small cars like this, the tire is in the trunk under the floor. So there is always just gonna be a little lever like this. You'll just be able to lift it up, reach in there, grab the spare tire. Now, next to the spare tire, almost always, are the tools you need to replace the tire. So here is the jack. Here is actually, because this is a trackable car, this is a tow hook. Comes with a little screwdriver, just in case you need it. And then over here this is what I was talking about. This is the handle that allows you to turn. So you stick it in and you just rotate it until it goes up. And then this is your tire iron. So the tire iron is actually meant, let me get the camera real quick. The tire iron is meant always universally for the wheels of the car. So you stick it on and you can rotate it off. It's simple, it's easy. It takes a little bit of force. So let's put this back. And it always makes it easier if you put things back correctly. So there's the spare tire. Actually, here's another good point. So spare tires, in order to not be thrown around in the back of the car, actually have a mechanism to hold them in place a lot of times. So you will want to unhook that. You won't be able to just reach in and take it out of the car. So now that you know where the tools are located, you can now use them to work on the car. I have a few tools here we're going to go over, and then I'm going to show you how to prop up the car first of all. So we have the jack, we have the handle for the jack, we have a A-frame. These are not going to, the A-frames are not going to come with the car. The A-frames, if you go buy one of these at a shop, I think they're supposed to be like $30 or something, but if you're at home, these, you don't want to use them for long periods of time. If you're going to leave the car up in the air for a little while, you really want one of these. They're a static set. You just leave them under the car rests on them, and then it won't fall on you. That's important. And this is a universal tire and lug nut wrench. So, first of all, let's get under the car real quick. In every car, there are pieces. They kind of stick out, if you can see right here. See how this is metal and a different material? In a lot of cars, in a lot of trucks, it's just the rail, the metal rail that goes down the side. You can use almost any point on that in a lot of cases, but on smaller and older sports cars, there are very certain points they want you to jack on. So this is one of them. If you look, that is a piece of metal just sticking down. And what you do is you take the jack, you get it kind of close, and then you center it on that point. This one's already pretty well centered. Let's just put it right there just so we're good. And see, the car is already coming up. Use your tool, put it through both, preferably like that, and then you just rotate, and as you can see, the suspension is now rising. Now, the tire has to be almost off the ground for what you want to do first. So you raise it a little bit. Once pressure is off the tire, there's still a little bit, but not much. So next, take your screw and actually, okay, so here's another thing that I just ran into that I forgot about. This comes on some cars. There is a special key that you have to get in order to take that tire off. Do you see this? This is not going to work on it unless you have that key. You will have to go to the manufacturer. You can go to any dealership and they will most likely be able to sell you that key. Like so. This is a key kit. It is useful. It is very, very useful to have. Now, what that does is it makes it impossible for anybody without the key to be able to steal your lug nuts. Lug nut theft and actually tire theft are huge. People will come, they will put these A-frame jacks, because they're so inexpensive and the tires sell for more, they will actually put the A-frame jacks up under your car, take all the wheels off, and then just leave you. So you have no tires, you have no way to move the car, you're just stuck. A lot of times that will actually come after them stealing the car, funny enough. So you just insert like so. Now that it's inserted, you find, so the lug nut wrench that comes with the car has the size already. You're never going to have to fumble with it. But if you have a universal, then you need to find out which one is the right size. There we go. Okay. So like you saw there, you can actually use the body weight. So you put your foot on one end, you put your hand on the other, and you can use your own body weight to get the screw off. Ladies, that tip is for you as much it is, probably more than it is for guys, because some of you weigh a lot less. You have less strength to throw around. So the body weight method actually works a lot better in your favor. All right, now that the tire situation is fixed, now we can move on to other things like the oil. I will show you how to do the oil, but first, you're actually supposed to check the oil when the car is at operating temperature. So, you need to have the car running, if you're at home, 15 minutes or so. If you are out and about, once you park, the car will be at temp. You can just check it right there if you have a washcloth or anything. But first, we need to actually go and start up the car. Now, this is the car we will be working on for this one. It is my 2015 Scion FRS. I love this car. It's track worthy. It's got an exhaust. Wheels coming soon. I'm just in the middle of a pickle right now. And yeah, let's get going. I gotta warm this bitch up. Now, looking at the engine, it looks complicated in there. I understand that. What you're looking for is this yellow piece right here. There should be a ring with engine oil. This car has engine oil on it. You can actually see where the coolant is. That's windshield wiper fluid. That is where you put in engine oil, and this is where you check engine oil in this engine. So, if you pull it out, you'll notice how this looks. There's actually a separation right there, and then there's two dots. Now, your oil should be on the level somewhere between those two dots. So, if we put this right here, you take the dipstick out, you clean it off with a rag. Reinsert the dipstick and then check the oil. So you can actually see it is between the two dots. You're good. Now some will actually have different measurement areas. So some will have uneven areas that look like a lot like road bumps, except on a much smaller scale. And if your oil is in that area, then you're good. It's different per car, it's different per manufacturer, but the general idea is get it between those 2 points. So the oil on this car is good. Once you're done, just pull, twist the stick, and let the trunk fall as it may. And that is how you check the oil and change a tire on your car so you can be back on the road. So, now that I have showed you how to change the tire on a car and check the oil, I did promise you to show what it looks like when a Christmas tree comes on in the car. Now, my one car is dead, and this car doesn't have any lights on it, but I can get them to come on just by turning the battery on. It'll show you all of them. So if you look here, when I flip it on, you can see all these lights. See, this is if you look, you can actually see what the check engine light looks like. This is low oil. That is low battery. I don't have a seatbelt on right now. It's worried about traction. That light will come on and off whenever you're losing traction or the car is trying to find traction. The ABS system is on. If that light ever comes on while the car is actually on, it means your ABS system is. The e-brake for my car is on, and that's why that is on. And now if I turn the car all the way on, all the lights go off, except for the fact that I'm not wearing a seatbelt. And then put down the e-brake. Now the e-brake light is off. Pull it, it's back on. This is only really useful. That is only really useful for manual cars. But so if you have any of those lights come on, besides say the sport mode light on this car or the traction control off, those lights come on when you activate those buttons, but everything else on there is you need to have it taken to a shop and you need to have it diagnosed. Because you may have a leak, you may have a dead battery, you may have a lot of things. So if you see something on your tree and the car's driving fine and you're like, oh, it's fine. No, it's not fine. Your car has effectively become a ticking time bomb. The red car right there was a ticking time bomb. The engine light kept coming on. I ignored it because I didn't have the money to fix it. Can you guess what happened? I was fine. Then I acted like a jackass. Tried to, maybe have some fun going up a bridge, and I blew the engine because there was not enough oil in it. So the engine light came on, indicating a problem. I ignored it, and I paid for it. That car will cost $6,000 just to get to the point where I can re-register it. So that is what happens when you do not take care of your car correctly. You don't want that. I don't want that. It's a terrible thing. So if you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, please leave a like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell for more updates. It really helps the channel, and I appreciate you guys a lot. This is Rabbit signing off.